The thought that keeps running through my head is, look at this thing we built.
Last summer, we were sitting on our couches watching the men play.
At the beginning of this, I asked you, why do you play?
And it makes me think about the women who came before us, who never had this.
And thank you all for buying in. Just really humbled and honored to be amongst all of you.
Such a strong group of women who are role models, who have taken this sport to the next level.
If you had asked me to imagine what professional volleyball could look like in the United States, in my wildest dreams, I could not have described this.
Space to be free, to be supported, to be heard and valued. And with that said, representation is extremely important. Being a Black and Puerto Rican woman who is also part of the LGBTQ plus community, it is extremely important to be up here and be a role model for a younger generation. So
continue to play so that people below you have the opportunity to do this and have their life change the way we all did.
Because the question has never been, are we good enough? Are we interesting enough? Are we valuable enough? The question has always been, will you invest in us? Will you make space for us? Will you allow us the opportunities to be the heroes of our own stories? To be the heroes in the eyes of the next generation coming up? Because we're ready. We have been ready. I hope that there comes a time that none of us are playing here. I hope there's a future version of this league that is filled with women who are living out the dream that we planted this last 5 weeks. And that we can come back and look in that book and see our names and see all of the names that came after us and say, look at this thing we built.
And there's so many different aspects of Athletes Unlimited that are interesting. So we're a network of women's professional leagues. There are 4 leagues right now in volleyball, basketball, softball, and lacrosse. We play 5-week seasons. We have no set teams, no owners, no general managers. Our players are captains and they redraft their teams each week. And there's sort of an individual leaderboard and a really innovative kind of scoring system. But on the kind of back side of the league, the players are given this kind of unprecedented amount of power in the decision-making processes around all of the things that affect us and our athletes in our league. And so each of our sports has a player executive committee made up of 5 athletes from their league who are working kind of with staff collaboratively, not negotiating, but really on the same side of the table to kind of weigh in on all aspects of the league. Which kind of has redefined for me what it means to have kind of a voice and power as an athlete. So all of our athletes are paid, which is amazing, and unfortunately for our sports, revolutionary, in the US at least. We haven't had opportunities on American soil, at least in my lifetime, which is crazy. But we're all paid a base salary, and then we also get a bonus based on how we finish in the league. And then the league matches on top of that half of our bonus, and they'll give it to the cause of our choice. So every athlete in every one of our leagues picks a cause that they care about, that they want to contribute to at the end of the season. And so this past summer during our lacrosse and softball leagues, we passed $1 million over essentially 2 years. And I think that's amazing, just for the sum of money and the fact that it's going to great causes, but also that it's going to causes that these athletes have chosen, that they've used their voice to say, this is what we care about. And one of the reasons that they started this program from the very beginning was that as female athletes, we rarely have the kind of money necessary to contribute large sums to charities. So many of the male athletes, like, Steph Curry talked about his foundation, which is fantastic. There are very few female athletes who reach a point where they can contribute those kinds of sums of money. And so, for us to have, it's the largest amount that most of our athletes have ever been able to give to something they care about.
Soundstripe.